Wrexham Football Club is the oldest football club in Wales and the third oldest professional football club in the world. The spiritual home, the racecourse, is the oldest international football stadium still in use in the world today, and the stadium also incorporates a public house, the Turf Hotel, which is the oldest public house at any sports stadium in the world. Wrexham Association Football Club's story has plenty of highs and lows, glory and despair during its 156-year history, with many twists and turns that would not look out of place in a Hollywood movie. It's no wonder that two Hollywood stars, Ryan Reynolds and McElhenney, have been captivated by this historic and much-loved North Wales club and are now its owners. The story of their involvement is now unfolding, but the story that precedes them makes for an interesting script.
Oh, this is really happening.
Steeped in industrial history, the town of Wrexham was the birthplace of the Football Association of Wales in 1876, founded following a meeting at the town's Winnerstay Hotel. But a football team in the town had been formed some years earlier. Members of the cricket team wanted something to keep them occupied over the winter months, and a football side was founded at another of Wrexham's hostelries, the Turf, in October 1864. Wrexham won the inaugural Welsh Cup in 1877, and to this day are the most successful team in the competition's history, winning it on 23 occasions. Their early years were spent in the regional English leagues before the club was elected to the newly formed 3rd Division North of the Football League in 1921. The first 40 years or so in the Football League were pretty uneventful, apart from one promotion, a couple of relegations, and the shame of finishing bottom of the Football League in 1966. But that was all to change with the appointment of John Neal as manager in 1968. Neal transformed the club, and within 2 years Wrexham had been promoted to the 3rd Division, and a Welsh Cup win in 1972 secured European football for the first time the following season. Neal's side beat Zurich in the Cup Winners' Cup first round before bowing out to Hajduk Split on away goals, and before long Wrexham were making their mark in the domestic cup competitions. 2 years later, on another European odyssey, they would be rubbing shoulders with some of the Europe's best, including Anderlecht, who they eventually lost to. But promotion to English football's second tier eluded them, and Neal left in 1977 to be replaced by long-standing player Arfon Griffiths. Griffiths would lead Wrexham to further cup exploits, reaching the last 8 of the FA Cup and League Cup, but crucially, promotion as 3rd Division champions. The late 70s were the glory days in this corner of North East Wales, with Wrexham playing to packed crowds at the racecourse. But the 80s would see a steady decline. Financial problems led to players being sold, and 2 successive relegations saw Wrexham back in Division 4. But Wrexham reached the FA Cup 3rd round the following season, and the team who finished bottom of the Football League were drawn against the reigning 1st Division champions in Arsenal. Arsenal's star-studded side looked to be coasting, leading to 1-0 lead at half-time. But what happened late in that game has become the stuff of legends. Mickey Thomas's free kick and Steve Watkins' late goal earned a famous win, and with it, changed the club's fortunes. Flynn had put his faith in a number of youngsters, and with a number of experienced heads, they achieved promotion in 1993. Flynn's 12-year reign came to an end in 2001, and a new manager, Dennis Smith, could not rescue the club from relegation that season. Relegation coincided with change off the pitch too, and new ownership with the long-serving Price Griffiths stepping down, and Mark Gutterman, a former chairman a bit bitter rivals Chester City, was placed at the helm. What was not known at the time was the involvement of another man, Alex Hamilton. He took over as chairman from former Business Associated Gutterman in 2004, and by the end of that year, the club had gone into administration with debts of over £3 million. Wrexham, warned Hamilton, would have to sell its racecourse ground and move to a new stadium, but the fans were vehemently opposed. Entering administration would have dire consequences on the pitch too, as the Football League imposed a 10-point penalty and the club were relegated in 2005. The club's very existence was at stake as fans stepped up their protests against Hamilton's plans. A High Court ruling ultimately ruled in the favour of the club administrators. Hamilton was defeated and the club was sold. On the pitch there was also a battle for survival to stay in the Football League. Wrexham beat Boston United on the final day of the 2006-07 season to survive, but the following season they would suffer relegation to non-league after 87 years in the Football League. The Dragons readjusted to life in the conference with the backdrop of the club ownership still rumbling on, and after several suitors expressed interest, the Wrexham Supporters Trust took control in 2011. The fan-owned club was rewarded with a first trip to Wembley 2 years later, as they became the first Welsh club to lift the FA Trophy, but a Football League return has eluded them thus far. Reynolds and McElhenney will inherit a club with a great story, experience plenty of dramas, with exciting storylines still to come.
I'm touching myself tonight.
What's going on, guys? My name is Adam, I am a Super Swan, and I'm excited to bring you episode 1 of the FM21 Deadpool Diaries, a Wrexham story. So as you've just seen, we've given you a history of Wrexham Association Football Club, and times are going to be changing at the Racecourse Stadium as we've been gifted with 2 new owners in the form of Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds. So to give you an introduction, this episode is going to introduce you to the save, what's it all about, what the aims are, and how we are going to achieve success with the 3rd oldest club in the world. So it's going to be a 1-club save, so we're going to be sticking with Wrexham for the duration of this save, and as you can tell from the name of Deadpool Diaries, things are going to be a little bit different to your standard Football Manager save. So we're going to introduce you to Wrexham. So they've confirmed the appointment of Super Swan, which is myself, as the club's new manager. We've put pen to paper on a 2-year deal with £1,000 a week, and we're going to be bringing Wrexham to the top of English football, maybe even the world. And the goal of this save is to bring Wrexham from the National League, non-league football, to give them the dizzy heights of Premier League, Champions League football, with the ultimate aim of winning the Champions League. Can we do it? You've got to tune into this series to find out. So like I say, we're going to be explaining the series, we'll be going through everything together in this episode. And the first thing you're going to notice on this screen is that there's a few things that look a little bit different to your standard Wrexham save. And as you can see, the person that's introducing us to the club is none other than Ryan Reynolds himself. So Ryan Reynolds, the owner, is formally introducing us to Wrexham, and they're giving us the pack of Wrexham. So we'll have a look together at the Wrexham's club history. As I say, we've gone through the historical history of Wrexham, but now we'll have a look in-game to see what they say. So we've got the racecourse ground, built in 1864, 15,000 capacity. It's been here since the start. It's been here since this club was formed. And last season we finished 19th in the National League, not the best, We've got a media prediction of 12th, so mid-table team in the National League. And as you can see, we also have a different director of football in the name of Deadpool. We'll be having a look at him very shortly. But as you can see, we're currently playing the Vanarama National League. State-of-the-art youth facilities, exceptional youth recruitment. So we can see that the new owners have already improved the club's youth facilities in the aim of bringing through some local lads from the Wrexham community, from the Welsh community, try and boost the club's fortunes. So mid-table is the prediction, 19th last season. Ryan Reynolds giving us an introduction to Wrexham Football Club. The coaching staff have given us a brief overview, so that is the team report at this moment in time in non-league. You can have a look at that if you wish to. And these are the club vision. So this is what they want us to do. They want us to sign high reputation players, sign players under the age of 23 for the first teams. They want us to invest in youth at Wrexham, but they also want us to sign high reputation players. So, we need to kind of mix things up a bit. They want big names in the club to get the name out there of Wrexham, but they also want us to work within the wage budget, sign players to sell for a profit. They want us to spend the original transfer budget. They want us to go out and start and spend as much as we possibly can. As, Ryan Reynolds has money, and he wants us to spend it, which, is a favoured importance. So, he's not bothered if we do, but he'd like us if possible. And they want us a minimum of 2-year contracts for first team players. So realistically, they want us to sign players, under the age of 23, build them up, get them going, get them in the club for a few years, and sell them on for a profit. So I think self-sustainability is going to be the goal at Wrexham. And the goal for the current season is reach the playoffs, reach the FA Cup second round, and they're not bothered about the FA Trophy, so they're not bothered about that. It's going to be playoffs and FA Cup. If we look at the next 5 years, they want us to get to League 2 within the next 5 years. So, quite realistic goals. We're not going too ambitious for the moment. And we're going to confirm everything in there. So we're going to save the game and we're going to get this series underway. But as I say, we're going to introduce you to the club. So no transfers today. It's just going to be a case of introducing the series. So we already know that we've taken the hot seat. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the club information. So as you can see, Wrexham, we are, looking at history, as we've already explained there, we have been a League One club as far back as 2000, but a series of relegations due to those financial troubles, we've been in non-league since 2008. So that is 12 years in non-league. And you can see Wrexham got as high as second 1 year, but they just haven't been able to make it out of non-league. And last season was the worst season in the last 20 years of this club, as they finished in 19th place. But the fortunes are changing, as if we look at the general information, we've got Wrexham, Chester's their fierce rivals, Shrewsbury and Tranmere are going to be ones we're looking out for, alongside the usual Swansea and Cardiff, Welsh rivals, Blackpool and Newport County as well. So we've got a cross-border derby with Chester that we want to be worrying about. And if we look at the club legends, we've got two names at the bottom here, with Rob McElhenney, which I'm sure I'm mispronouncing, but you'll have to live with it. If he's put me in as manager, this is what it comes with. And we've got Ryan Reynolds as the club owner as well. So two owners as club legends. And the facilities here. So by investing in the team, Rob and Ryan have introduced a Tier 1 youth level, state-of-the-art youth facilities, because that is in line with what they want us to achieve. So they've given us already a great, exceptional youth recruitment, exceptional academy coaching. We've still only got good average or good training facilities. They haven't touched the training ground, they haven't touched the corporate facility, they haven't touched the stadium, as obviously it's a very historic stadium for Wrexham. But as you can see, we've got exceptional youth for the club. So hopefully we can get some really good youth coming through the club with the aim of turning them around for a profit. Finances, they've promised to put in some millions of pounds into the club, and they've done just that. 4 million in the club, 1.3 mil transfer budget. We've got a wage budget of 27,000 as well. which at this level is pretty good. So we've got some manoeuvrability in the transfer market as well. So they've given us the funds. They want us to spend 1.3 mil, which at National League level is unheard of. It's obscene amount of money at this level. But how much are they going to keep on supporting us? They might decide one day to pull the plug. So we've got to use the money whilst it's there. So it's going to be interesting times at Wrexham. And I think one of the other things I'm going to show you is the staff at the club. Now, as part of the takeover, Rob and Ryan have said they want to be hands-on at Wrexham. They want to get involved with the day-to-day. So they've given themselves some roles within the club, which are going to be permanent throughout this save. So the first one we're going to look at is our head of youth development, which is Rob McElhenney. He's not only the owner, he's the head of youth development as well. And that's the first time we look at Rob's pretty face in the profile there. So he's contracted to Wrexham till 2040, which is a long way away. 20 years in the future, he's going to be our head of youth development. Not only is the owner, he wants to be involved with our youth. So I'm guessing from Rob, he's the one that wants to push that youth recruitment, because he's going to be the man that's in charge of our youth recruitment. He's going to be bringing through our youth prospects. So it looks like he's going to be the man in charge of that. 43 years old, American. Pretty good stats for a head of youth development. So clearly it's something that he's quite passionate about. 20 working with youngsters. He's got decent ability and potential. Very good stats for a head of youth development. And that's going to be key if we're going to be bringing in good youth prospects and selling them on for a profit. So that's the first staff member that has come in. Ryan Reynolds himself has got himself a job. He's the technical director. So Ryan's a man, he knows talent where he sees it. He can see someone who's got potential to help with his project, which, as you can see, he's put himself the technical director. So Ryan's going to be in charge of bringing all of our staff into the club. So we're not going to touch the staff. He's told me I'm not allowed to bring in my own people. Ryan Reynolds is going to be the man to bring in the staff from the club. He's only known about Canada, so obviously, he's not much of a football fan, or he calls it soccer, but I've had a few talks with him. It is football. But he's got 15 judging staff ability, 20 negotiation, pretty good mentals as well. So I'm hoping that Ryan Reynolds is going to use his contacts and use his reputation to bring in some of the best staff we can possibly bring in. So we're not allowed to bring in staff. Ryan Reynolds is the man that's going to be bringing the staff in. And the last thing I'm going to show you is we've also been given a director of football in the name of Deadpool, or Wade Wilson, as he's also known as. Now, I asked Ryan Reynolds, are you giving yourself two roles here? But he went, no, Deadpool's his own man. So he's our director of football. He's not on the board. He's just our director of football. He's got amazing mentals, so he's got the best adaptability, determination, level of discipline, man management. He's a brilliant motivator. The problem is that he's got one for judging player ability and one for judging player potential. So his role is to bring in players, but he's not very good at it. Now, as part of this project, as part of this series, Deadpool's going to be looking for players for the first team, and as a rule for this save, we have to bring in the players that Deadpool goes out and finds. So if Deadpool makes an offer for a player, he's going to give the offer, so he's going to spend the money, he's going to give the contract out. We have to keep them at the club. So I really hope he doesn't decide to one day spend all our money on a player we don't need and is not good enough for this club. So Deadpool is our director of football. Let's hope he doesn't bring in kind of worthless players. So those are the staff, and that's the shell of this club. And that's going to kind of be the introduction to this sale. I'm not going to go too much more into it at this moment in time, as next time we will be looking at the squad, looking at the business that we've done in the summer transfer window, as we do have £1 million to spend, and we'll be preparing for life in the National League. So I'm going to leave you with that for the opening episode. To summarise, we are the manager of Wrexham. It's a one-club save, and this save will be over once we reach the Champions League final and lift that trophy. The rules are that Rob McElhenney is our head of youth development. We can't get rid of him. He's going to be the man bringing in the youth players. We can't get rid of Ryan Reynolds. He's purely in charge of bringing the staff in, so we can't bring our own staff into the club. And Deadpool is our director of football, and if he signs players for the club, we have to bring them in. So it's going to be very interesting with Wrexham. We've got the finances, we've got the support, we've got the reputation, but will the staff be working with me to get this club where it needs to be? So a very exciting challenge. I'm really looking forward to jumping into this series, and tune in next time. It'll be a Monday, Wednesday, Friday series, 6 PM GMT, as next time we'll be looking at the squad, bringing in some transfers, looking to see who Deadpool's brought in as we prepare for life in the National League. Thank you very much for watching.